their ice cream trailers for them to take down to the concert.
Call the meeting to order.
Monroe Town Council met with update with all members present. The minutes of the July 15th meeting were read. Rich made a motion to approve, second by Joe in the past. Trail update, most of the light posts are in, the concrete poured at the bridge on August 2nd. Remaining concrete to be poured as soon as possible. Rick brought up the county commissioners had tabled the paramedic chase truck at this time. It will be looked at again when the commissioners feel it's appropriate. Jenny Peck asked about getting some stone brought into her easement from the house on Elm Street. Dan Reinhardt will take care of this. Alex McDonald was inquiring what the town was doing to help prevent flooding. He was informed that ERI was currently working on a stormwater study with the hope of remedying the flooding issues. It was brought up about the Tinkham property on Monroe Street and the Rourke property on Prospect, that they were a grass and weed issue at these locations. Zach will look into these properties and get it taken care of. Nothing further to discuss. Tim made a motion to adjourn, second by Chad, passed.
Any additions or corrections? Being none, we need a motion to accept the minutes as read.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ready to pass.
Public hearing. Public hearing for the budget.
Okay, let's recess the regular meeting. Let's go into the public hearing for the 2024 budget. Is there anybody here to speak in favor? Is there anybody here to speak opposing? Being none, we will close the hearing.
If anyone's interested, the budget is available on Gateway, Indiana Gateway, and we will be on the 20th of September meeting to pass that budget. And Zach said he would not be here, he's training tonight.
Right. Dan.
The trail's pretty well wrapped up. They're buttoning up a few things. They're gonna do seeding and that type of stuff, I think, end of this week or next week. But I believe substantial completion date is the 14th or the 16th, so they'll have no problem hitting that. They were finishing up the boardwalk up by the woods. The last I checked back there. The industrial park is moving right along. They said they hope to wrap up the dirt work by tomorrow, Friday at the latest. It's by no means close to being done. I mean, they still got a lot of pipe work, but they've really done a lot of work in a short period of time. And did you get the email from Jim Breckler today about the survey we talked about with community crossings?
No, I didn't.
Okay, take a look at that, because it was making sure, we had talked about doing a survey to discover all the pipe that we don't know before we proceed with that, and it was gonna be a little extra cost, and he got the estimates on what those costs were, and he sent them to us late this afternoon, so.
Okay, no,
just
I
take a
didn't
look
see
at
it.
it. I was gonna reply to him, but I wanted to talk to you first, so make sure you saw it. That's all I have.
Okay.
The industrial park is the one out there by Dollar General.
Yes.
There was something on the Monroeville page, somebody's questioning it.
Pardon?
That somebody was questioning about what was going on out there on the Monroeville page.
That's
They can question whatever they want,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
They didn't know that, well, they didn't know what it was, and they thought that you had another industrial park. They was wondering what was going on with it and why there was another one being done, or.
Rick?
No.
Jeremy?
Yeah, we got a couple things from the fire department. First of all, just to follow up from our meeting that we had down there at the park or whatever a couple weeks ago, just to give the town an update. We've actually talked as officers of the fire department, and we're actually waiting for the meeting to happen with the EMS. Renee's kind of tasked with that one. She's got a big mountain to climb, we'll say. But she's actually waiting to they had some questions, and I think she had reached out to you, Donnie, about getting with Rich Beck.
Yeah, I was gonna see if I could get one of you guys or a couple of fire department guys and her and myself and go in and sit down and talk to Rich.
Okay.
Because I think that will I think that's probably the right way to proceed.
And we're open for however you wanna proceed with that. That's,
Okay.
like I say, we're kinda just waiting in limbo as far as that goes till she can get back with us and figure out some of that stuff.
Right.
Um,
I got a message from Poe late today.
from
And
Scotty,
yeah, I listened to it just as I was leaving the house coming up here about that and Southwest and so forth.
kinda seeing where we're at and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to know.
More or less making sure that we knew time was of the essence on this whole thing, I think is what he was kinda pushing towards, so.
Right.
So yeah, with that being said, I know there was, and before me and Rick might be able to speak more on this, if we were to do an actual merger with the EMS and have them come down to the fire station, there was suggested that years ago that maybe the town had suggested about putting on an addition to the fire station. For the time being, the interim, we would be able to probably jockey some trucks around, move some stuff around, and give them space and actually bay space for the apparatus for the EMS. That probably wouldn't be an issue. It'd be kind of cramped. But is that still something that maybe the town would bring back to the forefront as far as maybe adding on? I don't know, was it a couple bays or something, like a bay at least? And
Yeah, at one time, when they talked about merging and getting full-time, it was suggested that we would add on this end of the building, put 2 bays and then kind of living quarters on the other half of it. But since nobody would be able to come together, it was just kind of put on the back burner.
Right. Now, we had talked about that actually quite a bit. I mean, even to the point of in the interim, if we could make it work, using this as a place for people to be in at night as a living quarters. I mean, I you know what I'm saying, just trying to figure out a combination that we all don't get hung.
right,
Okay.
I understand that. Okay. And that might be something for future then, if we can actually work something out.
Yeah,
So,
if
but-
we can actually get it where it needs to be,
Right.
and I think it's got legs this time.
Yes, I hope.
Okay, where before I didn't think it did have,
I agree with that. Okay.
you know.
The only other thing I had, and this is totally aside from that, is the new walking trail out there. And maybe Dan, you can answer some of this, but with trail accessibility, right now off of Mitsuba Drive, we actually have, they're like the gate style fencing up, so it restricts like golf carts, stuff like that. Now, obviously the road's close enough that if we were to have to get on there currently, we could come in off of there and access the trail down at the far end, down by where the dirt is and all that, if there was to be an emergency on the trail. Is there anything in the works as far as, are you gonna be blocking that road off to where you can't access from the road? Because right now it's a small ditch,
No.
but.
No, it won't be restricted in that way. I did reach out to some trail people in Fort Wayne to see what the rules were for just the general public. And it's supposed to be no motorized vehicles.
Okay.
Since it's state funded, but obviously emergency vehicles, yeah, I mean, you should have.
I was just concerned with, I guess we were concerned with, if you're gonna block off that way, there'd be no way to get through onto the trail up from the actual east side. If to access from the east side up.
Yeah, there's gonna be nothing blocking it.
Okay.
Field
Okay,
curbs.
and then how, I mean, that'll obviously, we can get a vehicle all the way to the bridge then?
Yes.
Okay, alright,
Yeah, and that's, I mean, they've been driving dump trucks on it. I mean, it's made for,
okay.
to take that kind of traffic. It's just not intended for.
Just for future, if we were to have to put something up there to, you know, if we could have like collapsible gates or something like that, or a lock or something.
I don't see where you'd ever do
Right.
it, cause we'd have
Okay.
to put a lot up just to block it off, so.
Right, okay, alright, that was the only thing I had,
Okay.
so.
Oh, did you want me to say something about what you gotta do?
What now? Yeah.
Okay, there's been a House bill that's passed, it's 1167, that Hokum signed, and it gives plenty of time. We thought it was gonna be January, as we looked into it, it's July the 1st of 2025, it has to be in effect. And what it basically says is that the town hall meetings have to be videoed, and they have to be saved for 90 days. It didn't say anything in there. We thought originally it said something about it had to be live streamed, but it doesn't say that. Even though you still can with your Facebook page, live stream it. Here, you're done with it, and all you gotta do at the end of the video is just say, save it, and you're done. And you don't have to worry about archiving, having a bunch of, SD cards that you're trying to figure out anything from. And the public can still see it. And the idea of live streaming it is, somebody may say, oh God, I didn't realize that was going on. And you're gonna get more views on it, your Facebook page is gonna get, more comments and stuff and everything else. And, that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on what's going on, but, that's normal everyday stuff. But you got plenty of time to do it. When I checked into the stuff at the church of what they were doing, they basically had a camera like this, it's mounted up here, and they had it attached to a computer with a couple little connectors to hook up everything so they could live stream that way. And then they can control, focusing and stuff. What I've got set up here right now basically shows the whole council. I mean, if you wanted to set up something to where, like when you do the live stream, to where you had speakers, you got a podium, you want to turn around and do that and then focus it back, that's going to be a little more, technical to do. But it can be done.
Okay. Yeah, no, I had seen where it wasn't in effect until 25, so. Kyle. Bobby. None. Tam.
No.
Tim. Kevin.
Just other than the 20th for the budget,
What time?
Saturday. Normally, it's advertised on Gateway.
Tim. Dan and I met with API this morning about the road on Monroeville Road and the turning radiuses and so forth. And when did he actually say they were gonna start?
Out there was next spring, I believe.
Well, that's what I thought too, when we was all that, because there's a lot of interim things that has to happen. One is we've gotta get the grinder station out.
The grinder station, they're gonna work around if they have to.
Right.
But the poles have to be moved, and once the poles are moved, that's the electrical company that's doing that. But then there's also communication on the poles there too, so then the communication company has to come and move their wires over to those poles before they pull the old poles. So, that's supposed to be done by the 15th.
Of this month.
Of this month.
Yeah.
So they might be able to get to that section yet this year, but he wasn't gonna commit to anything because we've been waiting on these poles for a long time with the pole puddle. They will be starting on Oak Street, Primero Trail, and they're gonna finish up the section of Webster that wasn't paved with the water main project. That should be within, I think he said by the end of October.
Right, and they're gonna do Oak, right?
Yeah, Oak Street.
And the sidewalks.
And there's gonna be sidewalks involved too. It's hit or miss on the sidewalks. If there's already good sidewalks there, we're not touching them, but with the funding, we can only replace existing sidewalks. If we add sidewalks that weren't existing, that's out of pocket. That's not part of the 75-25 match community crossings. They do plan on starting, because there is some, a little bit of storm work involved, and they're gonna come in and do that before they pave, obviously, but it might sit there for a month before they actually get it paved, so.
Right.
It might be a little rough. I think he specifically said Primero Trail on that. So it'll be, I mean, drivable, but it might be a little rough for a few weeks.
Rich.
No.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.